Welcome to Bōde's Vancouver real estate market update for December 2022. This video is going to show you what's happening in the Vancouver market at a high level, and then I'm going to show you where you can find all of the same supply and demand dynamics, but for your local community and for your particular property type. So you can get a really good feel for what's happening with home prices in your neighborhood. But first, for those of you who don't know, Bōde is an online real estate company. We help people buy and sell homes without requiring the use of a realtor, and hence are able to save buyers and sellers a lot of money. So we've made the whole process more simple and more convenient and do as much as possible of it online. Okay, so let's jump in. What's happening in the Vancouver real estate market? First thing we're going to take a look at here is the number of new listings come to market each month for the last 5 years. So the bright pink line shows you what's happened in 2022. So you can see earlier in the year there was a lot of new listings coming to market, and as the year went on that's really dropped off. So now in the most recent month, in November, there were 16% fewer listings than there were in the average of the 4 previous Novembers. So the number of new listings has dropped off. Meanwhile, sales on the right hand side, sales were really strong earlier in the year, and again right around April when interest rates started going up, sales have really dropped off, and particularly in recent months they've been considerably lower than typical for that time of year. So at the end of November there was 39% fewer sales than the average of the 4 previous Novembers. So that's a huge difference. The rise in interest rates has really slowed sales down in Vancouver. So then if we take a look at the total inventory, so the total number of homes for sale, you can see here again the bright pink line shows you what's happened in 2022. Earlier in the year, there was relatively fewer homes for sale compared to what's normal. And now later in the year, that's kind of come back and we're closer to what would be typical levels of inventory for this time of year. So at the end of November, inventory is down just 11% compared to the average of the 4 previous Novembers. Then on the right-hand side of the slide, you can see what's happened with months of supply. So months of supply tells you, given the number of homes for sale, and given how fast homes are currently selling, or the number of homes that are currently selling per month, how many months would it take to sell through all of the available homes for sale? So again, earlier in the year, there was very few months of supply, only 2 months of supply. Now as the year's gone on, that's really increased. So in the most recent month here at the end of November, there's almost 6 months of supply, which means there's a lot of homes for sale and they're not selling as fast as they were earlier in the year. So that makes conditions far more favorable for buyers. When months of supply is very low, that's great news for sellers. When months of supply is high, like it is now, that's starting to be more balanced and actually even starting to favor buyers more. So if you're a buyer in today's market, you might have a little bit more time to make a decision. You'll have more homes to choose from, and you might even be able to add in some offers or some subjects or conditions to your offer. It also has pretty big implications for prices. So this chart shows you what's happened with pricing over the last 17 years. So you can see generally in Vancouver, prices have steadily gone upwards over time. If you take a look to the right-hand side, since 2020 and since the pandemic, prices started going up very quickly, even faster than earlier periods. But right when they started increasing interest rates in April of this year, prices have started coming back down, and they started coming back down quite quickly as well. So in the most recent month, prices have been down 1.5% month over month, and now they're down even year over year, so down 0.6% versus this time last year. So a lot of the gains that were made over the last year are now gone. They're all gone, and prices are even lower than they were at this time last year. So if you're a seller, it's really important to price your home well and to keep in mind that actually each month you're on the market, it's likely you may need to reduce your price. So it's important to be priced well from the beginning. So that gives you an overview of what's happening here in Vancouver at a high level. But if you want to find out what's happening in your neighborhood, real estate's a very local industry. So if you want to find out what's happening in your neighborhood, make sure to check out some of our data tools. The first one's called Market Data, and this is where you can see the same supply and demand dynamics, but for your local community and property type. If you want to find out what a home is sold for, you can check that out on our sold data page. So here you can see the sold prices of every home that's sold in Vancouver over the last 3 years. And finally, if you want to get a feel for what your home's worth in today's market, check out our comparables tool. Here you can enter your address and a few details about your home and quickly see what are the most comparable recently sold listings as well as the most comparable active listings. So you get a really good feel for what your home is worth today. So check all of that out at Bōde.ca, and if you want to see more of these videos in the future, make sure to subscribe below. And finally, if you have any questions about your particular situation, feel free to drop them into the comments and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Thanks very much.